Hello, everyone. My name is Carol Rice, and I am one of the student support counselors here at the Chicago School DC campus. On behalf of the DC Student Support Team, we'd like to welcome you and thank you for starting your journey here at the Chicago School. We are so excited to have you, and we do truly welcome you to our campus, virtually and eventually on campus. Today, we're going to be discussing academic integrity and policies. Feel free to stop this video at any time to take a break, but please watch this video in its entirety. As a new student at the Chicago School, you are required to watch certain parts of this video, so please again watch it in its entirety. First things first, let's go over your academic catalog and student handbook. As a student at the Chicago School, you are responsible for reading, understanding, and following the policies that are outlined in the academic catalog. You can literally find it right now. It can be found at catalog.thechicagoschool.edu, and you can access it 24/7. So please feel free to stop the video, take a look through it, and come back to us. Next, let's discuss enrollment status. If you are coming from an undergraduate institution, you'll notice that the graduate degree level and what's considered to be half-time and full-time is a little bit different. If you are registered for 3 credits and below, you are considered to be half-time. If you are registered for 5 credits and above, you are considered to be full-time. Enrollment status is extremely important because it helps determine your eligibility for financial aid, and it also assists in providing enrollment verification, and also being half-time or full-time determines your qualifications for other student benefits. If you have any questions regarding that, please feel free to reach out to your student support counselor or the registrar's office. Now, let's discuss attendance. Attendance is something more than just attending and participating in all of your courses, even though that is required. Attendance is also defined as participating in an academic activity. This academic activity is at the discretion of your professor. It could be an introduction post, it could be a short response to an article they want you to read. Literally, it could be anything. It's at the discretion of your professor. If you do not submit it, you will be administratively withdrawn from the program. And if you have any additional questions, again, please reach out to your student support counselor. So in order to post attendance, how do you do it? You post attendance by going to my.thechicagoschool.edu. Click on Go to Classes at the top of the screen. It's going to lead you to Canvas. Go to the courses that you are registered for. And within the courses, you are going to be able to access your assignments before classes. Next, we are going to discuss satisfactory academic progress. In other words, SAP. If you ever hear the word SAP, this is exactly what we're referring to. SAP is measured to ensure that a student is making satisfactory academic progress toward their degree completion. If you are in good standing, then that means SAP is met. However, a student may have an academic or financial aid warning or be put on academic and financial aid probation. In both of those cases, that means SAP is not met. Finally, if a student is dismissed, that means they either had an academic or financial aid dismissal. You are required to maintain SAP towards your completion of any degree, certification, or credential program while attending TCSPP. You must maintain a cumulative GPA of 3.0 or above, and you must maintain 66.67% PACE for all attended credits. What is PACE? PACE refers to the minimum percentage of attempted units a student must successfully complete to remain in academic and financial aid good standing. A student successfully completes a course and earns the units attempted when the student's performance merits a passing grade. PACE is calculated by dividing the number of credit hours earned by the number of credit hours attempted. If you have any questions regarding PACE or if you need any additional information, please reach out to the registrar. PACE is calculated by the registrar's office. Now we have reached one of the most important parts of the presentation, which is discussing academic integrity. We are more than aware that as a graduate student, you are familiar with what academic dishonesty is, but we are going to touch upon it for today's purposes. Academic dishonesty violates one of the most ethical principles in an academic community and will result in sanctions imposed under the school's disciplinary system. All suspected incidents must be immediately referred to the department chair or designee, who would then refer the matter to the Student Affairs Committee. Academic dishonesty includes, but is not limited to, cheating, plagiarism, and fabrication. Now, as discussed before, academic dishonesty includes cheating. It includes, but is not limited to, copying another person's work with or without their permission, giving or receiving aid on a test, giving or receiving test materials prior to official distribution, collaborating on assignments or exams without instructor permission, submitting another's work as one's own, including purchase papers, taking credit for group work to which one did not contribute significantly to meet one's obligations, and intentionally using or attempting unauthorized materials, information, or study aids in an academic exercise. Outside of cheating, we also have plagiarism. Plagiarism is intentionally or unintentionally representing words, ideas, or data from any source as one's own original work, meaning you're taking what somebody else did and plagiarizing it as your own. This includes copying the work of another verbatim without using quotation marks or citing your sources, revising the work of another by making only minor word choices without explanation, attribution, or citation, and paraphrasing the work of another work without the appropriate citation. Also, in regards to plagiarism, carelessness or failure to properly follow appropriate rules governing source attribution, for example, outlines located in your APA manual, can be construed to be plagiarism when multiple mistakes in formatting citations are made in the same paper. Further, a single example of failing to use quotation marks appropriately may be considered plagiarism. So this is very, very important, especially when you go to write your research papers and dissertations and thesis. Last, fabrication builds upon plagiarism and cheating. This means that you're intentionally inventing information that has not been cited. It is false information, but you're putting it in your paper as true. Examples of fabrication include, but are not limited to, falsifying research and other findings, citing sources not actually used in writing a research paper, and submitting work done in previous classes as if it were not new and original work. So, yes, you are able to fabricate yourself even if you are the one who wrote the previous paper. If it is not new or original, it is fabrication. If you are unsure if your conduct may represent a form of academic dishonesty, please seek out consultation from your course instructor or your faculty advisor or your student support counselor. That is the portion of the presentation regarding academic dishonesty. Stuff for later. If you have any additional questions and you want to get access to course listings, registration tutorials, or anything located in your student gateway, you are more than welcome to go to the website my.chicagoschool.edu for additional information. The next portion of this video is extremely important and it is going to cover sensitive topics. We do want to warn you that it will be covering Title IX policies. Title IX policies refer to if you experience, as a Chicago school student, any type of harassment or sexual assault. Title IX policies also refer to any student who are expecting children or are pregnant and need additional accommodations.
Welcome to TCSPP. My name is Lauren Friedman, and I'm a Deputy Title IX Coordinator here at TCSPP. This video is going to introduce you to Title IX. Here at TCSPP, we are committed to providing a safe learning and working environment for all members of the Chicago school community, and Title IX helps us to do just that. Title IX is federal legislation that prohibits sex discrimination in educational programs and settings, such as ours here at TCSPP. The words setting out this federal legislation are short, but the impact is sweeping. Title IX is not just about equality in sports. It protects against gender discrimination and gives students the right to receive the benefits of higher education free from sexual inequality. Title IX at TCSPP maintains two policies. The first is our sexual misconduct policy. Title IX is an essential tool in diminishing sexual misconduct, including sexual harassment and sexual violence in higher education. In keeping with these important rights and our institutional values, the Chicago School prohibits these behaviors. The second policy is our pregnancy and related conditions policy, which assists students who may become pregnant to continue their education effectively and easily. First, let's take a look at the sexual misconduct policy. In April 2014, the White House Task Force to Protect Students from Sexual Assault issued its first report on sexual misconduct on America's college campuses. According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, 1 in 5 women and 1 in 16 men are sexually assaulted while in college. The AAU 2015 Campus Climate Survey reports that 21% of transgender, genderqueer, and nonconforming college students have been sexually assaulted, compared to 18% of non-TGQN females and 4% of non-TGQN males. More than 90% of sexual assault victims on college campuses do not report the assault. The Chicago School of Professional Psychology is a community that stands for safe, healthy relationships. As such, the Chicago School prohibits all forms of sexual misconduct, including sexual harassment, sexual violence, sexual assault, domestic violence, and dating violence. Sexual misconduct can take many forms. It encompasses sexual assault, sexual harassment, and stalking. It also includes domestic violence and dating violence, and violence or harassment based on sex or sex stereotypes. Sexual assault occurs when sexual activity is engaged without the consent of one party or when one party is unable to consent to the activity. The activity or conduct may include physical force, violence, threat, or intimidation, ignoring the objections of the other person, causing the other person's intoxication or incapacitation through the use of drugs or alcohol, or taking advantage of the other person's incapacitation, including voluntary intoxication. Sexual harassment is defined as unwelcome sexual advancements, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal, nonverbal, or physical conduct of a sexual nature. Sexual harassment is conduct that explicitly or implicitly affects a person's employment or education, interferes with a person's work or educational performance, or creates an environment such that a reasonable person would find the conduct intimidating, hostile, or offensive. Sexual harassment may include incidents between any TCSPP members, including faculty, staff, student employees, students, residents, interns, and non-student or non-employee participants in TCSPP programs. Sexual harassment may occur in hierarchical relationships, between peers, or between individuals of the same or opposite sex. To determine whether the reported conduct constitutes sexual harassment, consideration shall be given to the record of the conduct as a whole and to the totality of the circumstances, including the context in which the conduct occurred. A hostile environment is created when sexual harassment is sufficiently severe, persistent, or pervasive, and objectively offensive to the point that it unreasonably interferes with, denies, or limits someone's ability to participate in or benefit from the university's educational or employment programs. Stalking is behavior in which a person repeatedly engages in conduct directed at a specific person that places that person in reasonable fear for their safety or the safety of others, or that would cause a reasonable person to suffer substantial emotional distress. Understanding consent is vital to our community. An easy way to remember what counts as consent is to use the FRIES acronym. Consent is freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific. While official definitions of consent vary by state, keeping these 5 things in mind are important. While the Chicago School prohibits all acts of sexual misconduct, should you find yourself in a situation where sexual misconduct has occurred, we encourage you to do the following. Find a safe place. Get to a safe place as soon as you can. If you believe you or anyone else is in immediate danger, you should alert law enforcement as soon as possible. Once you are safe, contact someone you trust to be with you for support. This could be a friend, a family member, or even a specially trained sexual assault advocate. Get medical attention. Medical attention should be sought as soon as possible. This is necessary to mitigate the risk of sexually transmitted infections or pregnancy, and to determine the existence or extent of, and to treat any physical injury. Additionally, forensic evidence can be collected if criminal action is or may be desired in the future. Preserve evidence of the incident. It is important to preserve evidence as it may be necessary in providing proof of criminal activity or in obtaining a protection order. Evidence is best collected as soon as possible, or at least within 96 hours of the assault. Assistance with evidence preservation can be provided by medical or law enforcement personnel. Consider reporting the incident. There are several reporting options, including reporting to local law enforcement, to a confidential advisor, and/or reporting to the Title IX team. School authorities will assist in notifying law enforcement if requested. Reporting sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking to the police does not commit the victim to further legal action. While victims are not required to report to local law enforcement in order to receive assistance or pursue options with the Chicago School, the earlier an incident is reported, the easier it will be for police to investigate if the victim decides to proceed with criminal charges. If a reported incident did not occur on campus, the Chicago School can assist the survivor in notifying the local police department with jurisdiction over the crime. Professional counselors and pastoral counselors who are not employed by TCSPP are not required to report any information about an incident to TCSPP's Title IX team without a reporting party's permission. Confidential advising is also available from YWCA Metropolitan Chicago, who provides services to TCSPP community members. Per Illinois law, they are not permitted to disclose a student's personal identifying information from reports of sexual misconduct to TCSPP without the student's consent. Counseling and other supports. The Chicago School encourages victims of sexual misconduct to talk to someone about what has happened, which may include counseling. Whether services are sought on campus or in the community, remember that self-care is an important part in coping with the event. In addition to the YWCA, our counseling service, Student Solutions, can provide you with information about how to obtain counseling and other supports. To report an incident of sexual misconduct, including sexual harassment and sexual violence, students should contact the Title IX team at the email address listed here. Please remember this team is here to help, and even if the accused party is not a part of TCSPP's community, the Title IX team can still offer resources and assistance to sexual misconduct victims. Upon receiving report of sexual misconduct, the Chicago School will respond by investigating the allegation. The investigation procedures are designed to provide a supportive process for those who report sexual misconduct, as well as fairness and due process for the individual being accused. During an investigation, interim protections for both parties may be put in place. Remedies for students who have experienced sexual misconduct may be available. Students who are found to have violated the Chicago School's prohibitions against sexual harassment and sexual misconduct may face disciplinary proceedings, which could result in dismissal from the school. In reporting incidents, it is important that students understand the school's obligation when it comes to confidentiality. Students may utilize the YWCA's confidential advisor services as a confidential alternative to reporting directly to TCSPP or in conjunction with their report to TCSPP and/or law enforcement. If a victim discloses an incident to a responsible employee but wishes to maintain confidentiality or requests that no investigation into a particular incident be conducted or disciplinary action taken, the Chicago School must weigh that request against the school's obligation to provide a safe, non-discriminatory environment for all students, including the victim. If the Chicago School honors the request for confidentiality, a victim must understand that the school's ability to meaningfully investigate the incident and pursue disciplinary action against the alleged perpetrator may be limited. Please understand, however, that there are times when the school may not be able to honor a victim's request in order to provide a safe, non-discriminatory environment for all students. Here at the Chicago School, we are committed to providing a safe learning and working environment for all members of the school community. You will receive an additional training on this area during your second semester as required by federal law. We look forward to a safe year and hope to support you as we combat sexual harassment and sexual violence together. The second policy that falls under Title IX is the Student Pregnancy and Related Conditions Policy. Prevention of sex discrimination under Title IX also includes discrimination based on pregnancy, childbirth, false pregnancy, termination of pregnancy, or recovery from any of these circumstances. If you experience any of these conditions while attending TCSPP, you are entitled to assistance based on our policy. Appropriate accommodations can be granted through our Title IX team. These may include accommodations such as opportunity to make up missed schoolwork, extended deadlines, incomplete grade extensions, and more. To the extent possible, TCSPP will take reasonable steps to ensure that pregnant students who take a leave return to the same position of academic progress that they were in when the leave began. Students seeking accommodations under this policy are encouraged to contact the Title IX team through email at titleix@thechicagoschool.edu. On behalf of your Title IX team, welcome to the TCSPP community. We are so excited that you'll be joining us. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much for watching the video regarding Title IX policies, and thank you so much for watching this presentation regarding academic integrity and additional policies. Again, on the behalf of the DC Student Support Team, we welcome you to the Chicago School of Professional Psychology, and we hope that you are excited, as we are, for your new journey here. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your student support team or email us at dcstudentservices@thechicagoschool.edu. We hope to hear from you soon. Welcome to TCSPP and have a great day.